Good afternoon. You are here today because you have resolved to homeschool your child. This decision may have stemmed from various motivations, but now that you have made this momentous resolution, there are many more choices before you and the task may seem daunting. One difficulty you may have is deciding which teaching style to use in your home education. There are many options available, and the freedom to choose what works best in your home can actually be exhilarating. Two contrasting teaching styles, unschooling and classical education, show that alternative teaching methods allow parents to find a style for home education that best suits their parenting styles, their child's learning style, and each family member's personality. I will give an overview of the basic principles and organization of these two methods to illustrate the variety of options available when choosing a style for your own family. The current unschooling movement was influenced by Grace Llewellyn's The Teenage Liberation Handbook, and another available resource is Guerrilla Learning by Grace Llewellyn and Amy Silver. The foundation of unschooling is to allow the child to discover him or herself while developing real-life skills in the real world. In Guerrilla Learning, Llewellyn and Silver outline 5 keys to successful learning in an unschooling home. The first key is to provide opportunity by exposure, doing what you love, and answering questions. The second key is timing, which is also known as readiness. Llewellyn and Silver consider teaching a subject when the child is ready as attending to the spirit of the child. The most important key is to recognize the student's interest. This is regarded as the magic ingredient. The fourth key is freedom, the choice to do and be what we can. Parents teach responsibility through freedom by helping their child to understand the possibilities available and the consequences of their choices. The final key is to support your child by helping the student to achieve his or her goals. It is important to stay connected with your child while setting boundaries to protect each individual's well-being. And the purpose of unschooling is to let the child take the lead. While classical education has been used for a long time, it was adapted and modernized by Susan Weisbauer and Jesse Wise in The Well-Trained Mind. The foundation of a classical education is to produce literate, curious, intelligent students who have a wide range of interests and the ability to follow up on them. Classical education is organized according to the trivium and by historical eras. The trivium is based on the stages of mental development, each stage basically taking 4 years and building on the previous stage. The grammar stage comprises of kindergarten through 4th grade. This is the stage which builds the foundation for the other stages and is focused on building basic skills and collecting facts. The 5th through 8th grades make up the logic stage, when students are taught the skills of analyzing, critical thinking, and abstract thought. The rhetoric stage encompasses the final 4 grades, 9th through 12th. This is the stage of self-expression. Within each stage of the trivium, curriculum of the classical education is organized by historical eras, each era taking up a year of instruction. The periods are ancient times, the Middle Ages, early modern times, and the modern world. When a child begins grade school using the classical education method, he or she spends the 1st grade year on ancient times. The Middle Ages takes up 2nd grade, early modern times is taught in the 3rd, and the modern world is taught in the 4th grade. This student goes through this cycle for a 2nd time in the logic stage and for one final time in the rhetoric stage. Thus, the student will go through all of world history 3 times, each time focusing on the principles of the stage he or she is in. This historical survey will influence the subjects of reading, writing, history and geography, and even science to an extent. This allows the student to understand what is being taught in the context of world history while integrating education across the subjects to complement each other. The unschooling and classical education methods are very different in structure, but they both have a goal of developing competent, free-thinking, and productive individuals. Unschooling is very liberal in its approach, its founders urging parents to allow their children to learn and develop naturally, while Bauer and Wise guide parents through the classical education in a very structured and conservative approach to the education of their children. There are other teaching methods available to guide your home education which fall somewhere in between these extreme approaches. The wonderful thing about homeschooling is that once you have found the best fit for your own family among the myriad teaching styles, you can borrow principles and ideas from the other methods which appeal to you. In this way, you can tailor your own home education experience to best fit the styles and personalities of each family member. Now, are there any questions that you would like to ask me?
How is it determined what will be taught and for how long in unschooling?
Well, in unschooling, each child determines what he or she will learn and how. The parents guide the student in setting goals and planning how to achieve them, as well as determining what needs to be accomplished before the child has the option of either giving up that particular subject or setting new goals. This is one way unschooling parents help to teach their children responsibility.
The classical method seems a bit overwhelming. How would a rookie begin teaching with that method?
It does seem like a lot to take in, but the well-trained mind is an excellent resource. Bauer and Wise outline each grade level by discussing what the student should be covering and how much time he or she should spend on each subject. They also provide descriptive resource lists and sample schedules for your use. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good afternoon.